we'll see how to put all those beautiful charts and dashboards that you made with Metabase, how you can put those in your application, so people can actually like access that and use it. Just a little agenda. We will cover these topics, but again, anything that you want to add, just throw it in. So usually you can build stuff in Metabase. You will build questions, dashboards. Maybe you want to put some filters, some like you want to actually you build all that amazing data that you can have from building lots and lots of data engineering pipelines and such. And you want to put that in front of your customers, how you can do it, right? And there are some icons that you see here because of some customers we have that use Metabase exactly for this. So if you see a Metabase dashboard around the application that you love, well, that's definitely because we they are using Metabase and they are embedding, right? There's this discussion that it always happens, right? I mean, do you build Metabase entirely from scratch, or do you build you build in your application questions and dashboards that they connect directly to the database? They start rendering stuff. And in fact, I've seen a ton of people. Let me tell you, based on my experience, what I've seen. So like I've seen people that actually they have just a few requirements, just 2-3 things that they just want to put in front of their customers. Usually what those people do normally is they just they're used to build stuff and they just go and build it, right? I mean, there are 2-3 things, nothing can happen, they just go and do it. The problem is that many times, and this is like actually happens 90% of the time, customers come once they use your application and they love your product, and they start saying like, I would like to do this and I would like to do that, and I would like to get some data out of or some dashboards out of your data. And that's when the problem comes. We have one very big customer, very big. It's an HR product, and they actually have I don't know how many customers, and they had built their product. And once, I mean, they came to us saying like, we can't sustain this anymore. It's like every single week I have 2-3 people just building dashboards just for them. And they just, they came to us and say like, we want to use Metabase, we want to embed it, because again, like all that, building the queries and then rendering on the application takes a lot of time. So this is when you should consider, coming to Metabase and using Metabase. Not only maybe because you've been using it internally, but now using it externally for embedding. Okay, there are main topics around this. Maybe you want to start small. We have customers, in fact, that they started, and this I'm going to show in this presentation this difference between the two types of ways that you can use embedding inside Metabase. We'll see just in a few minutes. But there's people that just they start very, very small. I mean, just using Metabase and using the free product, the open source one, with one type of embedding, which we call static embedding. They just start with one question, a few dashboards, and then they want to scale. Or maybe just they start that and then they go to the more advanced way of embedding, which allows you to do many more things. And again, I'm going to cover that in just a few minutes. But it's about starting small. Let me tell you my experience. I before Metabase, I was in a startup, an IoT startup, and what we did was exactly that. We just had a lot of data. In fact, we had data in MongoDB, which probably not many or pretty much non-BI product support. We have data in MongoDB, and we just used Metabase static embedding, and we were able to set up really fast that analytics feature for our customers, right? They could see exactly what their devices were doing. So it's just about starting small. The way in which you can start with static embedding, I'm going to show it. It's super fast. Like you don't need to do any kind of authentication or nothing like weird and complex. It's just about just putting some link, and that would be it. And there's also something else, which is like maybe there's some people that don't need all that stuff, and they just need a public link. They just put a public link on their websites. In fact, we have one interesting customer that does that. If you are used to these applications that manage calendars, I would suggest that you go to cal.com. It's one of our customers, and they just they have they say that they build the entire company in the public, so they just embed Metabase in their public website, and they just show how they're doing publicly with Metabase, which is awesome. So again, this is Metabase. You can just it's a BA product. It does many other things that BA products don't do. So we do a little bit more things, which is pretty awesome. And basically, what you designed in the questions, what you put in the dashboards that you put in Metabase, you can actually embed them. Like you can build dashboards, put those dashboards with filters, and then you can embed those dashboards with filters, or just questions. There's no need to do a dashboard. Just put those questions, and people can actually like use that in your product, right? Embedded right in front of them. And now this is the key part. So what are the types of embedding, and what I can do with the product, right? And this is the key part. Again, just if you have any questions about this, just let me know. The first type of embedding, it's what we call interactive embedding. Okay, so what is this? And I'm gonna do a demo just right after this. So interactive embedding is our right now, and again we have one more type of embedding, which is top tier one that I'm gonna tell just at the end of the webinar. But basically, interactive embedding is just actually putting the entire product of Metabase, full 100% of Metabase, into the hands of your customers, but without making them going actually into Metabase. And again, let me repeat that because it might be pretty complex. It is actually putting the entire Metabase product, building questions, building dashboards, doing drill downs and drill throughs, maybe subscribing into subscriptions, right? I mean, getting emails or Slack messages, like the entire Metabase product into the hands of your customers, but without them having to actually go to Metabase, authenticate there, and do all the process of authentication. It works really, really well because of many things. The first thing is that we have a very cool way of and in fact we have some demos, and I'm going to show them. Like you can actually put an iframe in your application, and your application will do a single sign-on into that iframe, and there are going to be user properties coming from your application that will allow Metabase to first auto provision the user. So nothing, you don't need to do nothing in terms of creating the users or stuff. The user will be auto provisioned, and also Metabase, thanks to these user properties, will be able to assign the user to a specific group. I'm going to show that in the demo right now. And once the user is inside Metabase, it's all the magic of Metabase. The user will be still in your application because it will have it's an iframe inside your application, but the user will be able to do absolutely everything. They will be able to create questions and dashboards. They will be able to do drill downs, do drill throughs. Even more, the users can also be the entire instance can be multi-tenanted, so the users won't be able to see between each other. And also you will be able to do row level security, which is awesome. Like users getting from different tenants inside the same Metabase instance, and once they are inside, each user sees just their data. Okay, you can also brand it. You can also put your colors, put your fonts. You put your own logo inside Metabase if you're exposing the logo. You can even remove specific components. I'm gonna show that in the demo right now. Like actually you say, I want to just embed Metabase, but I don't want the users to see the breadcrumbs, or I don't want the users to see just some buttons. I don't want a user to do, like, you can actually remove and add components from from Metabase inside that embedding. So, I'm gonna show that right now. Let me do this pretty quickly. There we go. No, this is not the demo. I'm gonna use, in fact, you know what? I can use the public demo that we have about interactive embedding. That would be way better. I'm gonna go now to a site that you can also go if you want, which is called Edumation, embedding demo, this one. So I'm gonna put this in the chat. This is a public demo that we have for interactive embedding. It is a data set of a college or a university, and here you will have 2 users. Then whenever you select the user, there will be an authentication happening. So actually, this is, let me be pretty clear. Like actually, every single this, if you saw just what happened, this is actually an iframe, right? This is actually an iframe, the blue thing. And this is actually a dashboard of Metabase. And if you see the dashboard, it doesn't have the buttons, it doesn't have the breadcrumbs. We removed a lot of things from that dashboard. And this is the actual application. Like actually, this is the actual application, which is embedding Metabase. And this is the Metabase itself. And see that I mean, as a user, I can just do an X-ray of this, like actually in the same iframe. And I can keep drilling down, drilling through. I can go back. In the iframe, I can just I do this and do again another drill down, and all happens within that iframe. I mean, the actual Metabase instance is working inside this iframe. It's gonna take a long time because it's, again, sorry about that. We don't have a very powerful machine to run this demo specifically, but I'm sorry about that. But again, entire Metabase, and if you can see what is going on in this demo, is that we, as the developers of this demo, we define how it's gonna be the navigation. So we define that the user should land in this page, and this iframe is gonna be one page inside that iframe. We go again. We click on here again. Just the same thing happens. This user authenticates. And it's passing a property, and it's only seeing the courses assigned to this professor. What is going on here? I will be able to show this. I will be able to show this in more detail. Is that this user, Mary Smith? As soon as I click on any of these links, and I'm getting authenticated into Metabase, I'm passing a property saying I am Mary Smith, and Metabase is actually building the queries to the database with a where clause that is being defined on the fly. So absolutely every single query that Metabase is throwing to the database is being like there's a where clause being applied. So I cannot see data from another professor. Again, it's doing row level security completely on the fly. Again, I can keep defining how the navigation will be. You see that I will be able to do all the use all the magic from Metabase, and also you can define, if you're willing. Again, this depends entirely on what experience you want to give to your users, but you can actually give the users the full Metabase experience. See, like this last icon over here, I know the user has the entire experience.
Luis, if you can please zoom in a little bit, I think it'll be better to see the screen.
Sure.
Just a bit. Yeah.
150. It's fine. Yeah. Cool. So if you see me here, I can even create my own questions and dashboards on my own collections. All the security is being handled by Metabase with its permission model. So I am being assigned automatically to a specific group. I am being also sandboxed, again, applied row level security. If you want to also, you can do, there's new features that we put for people that can actually go into and create a SQL question, and they can even be sandboxed with SQL questions. That's a new feature that we introduced some versions ago. Again, every single thing that you want to do here, you can do it. Normally, this is an embedding model that our users use when they want to offer, like top tier embedding to their users, because again, you can actually, as a user, come here and do your own questions and dashboards. And again, you have the full magic of Metabase inside this iframe. One more cool thing that normally happens is that, what happens if, again, this is not your business, this is not your data model. Again, this is a university data model. But what happens if you have different different databases or different schemas, one per each of your customers, right? What happens if you have that data model? Well, you can also use Metabase for that. You can also use both, all the types of embedding that we have. In this case, for interactive embedding, you can actually define separate collections that people can use. Like this is collection for customer A. Then you have collections for customer B, collection for customer C. And again, and this is very important. Your users, when they authenticate to Metabase, as Metabase will enforce the permissions, those users will just be able to see, just their collection, not other collections. And also data-wise, you can make that you can assign users to different databases. So customer A can just see customer A database and customer A collection. Customer B can see customer A collection, and customer B can see customer B collection and customer B database, and so on and so forth. That's entirely programmatic. You don't need to go over those nitty-gritty of having to configure absolutely everything. It's entirely done by Metabase and the tools that we provide. If you have any questions about interactive embedding, just let me know. I'm gonna just leave it here. Switch to Anna Johnson, which is the other user. You see that Anna Johnson has another another data that they can see, because again, it's being row level security is being applied here. And I just want to do a super brief stop to see if there was any questions around this, and then I'm going to continue with the other embedding type. There are a few companies using it. This is not the full list, as you can imagine, because we have NDAs with tons of people, and there are people that we can mention, and there's lots of people that we can't mention. And it's sad because there are very, very big names that I would love to mention. Really, really cool companies. But again, how NDAs and lawyers work. The ones that we can mention is the people from Lime. Amazing. It's a Swedish company. They use the in their CRM, everything. It's Metabase about how reporting works. The people from Pharos, amazing. Amazing company, and they use interactive embedding in their own application. One cool thing about Pharos that because Pharos is an account that I manage, and I definitely love them. They are really, really good. Technical savvy. Is that Pharos not only uses interactive embedding in Metabase, but they also build their own Metabase, and this is pretty cool. There's Metabase is an open source project. It's the license is basically AGPL, but if you buy a subscription of Metabase, like if you're an enterprise customer or pro customer, the licensing changes. So in the case of Pharos, they are also building their own Metabase. They actually modify Metabase. They modify components and modify some of the way that Metabase works, and they embed that Metabase, which is amazing. Because again, they just made a Metabase just for them. And Kalo that uses shipping and logistics. There are many other logistics companies. There's one logistics company that it's in the Formula One. For every Formula One fanatics here, you'll see some logistics company in the cars, and they also use Metabase. And again, I can't mention them because we have an NDA in place. All right, how does this interactive embedding works? Basically, you will have to it's via an iframe. And again, if people that you don't like iframes, I'm gonna tell you another way that you can use Metabase, but it doesn't matter. For now, it's an iframe. And then what will happen is that there will be an authentication happening. This is pretty important for you to know. like in interactive embedding, there is an authentication from your application, from the parent application to Metabase. And in that authentication, there will be user properties that are going to be sent. User email as the obligatory one. It's this one is the mandatory. We use the user email, for identifying users, and then you can send many other properties. And in this case, is you will have to send also the user properties that you would like Metabase to use for sandboxing, and the user properties that you would like to use for what we call the group mappings. I was mentioning that when there's a single sign-on, Metabase can auto-assign people to different groups. So you can say, oh, this one is customer A, so send it to customer A group so they can only see stuff from customer A, and so on and so forth. And those are the properties that you will need to send. You will need to send properties for group mapping, and also properties for the sandboxing. In case you use the impersonation feature, here's also the place that you have to send the property that you will have to use for the impersonation feature. And then after the single sign-on, there's a redirect that Metabase tells you, okay, cool, now go to this place, and you can also put a return to, so people just you just send people to a specific dashboard or a specific question. Again, pretty simple. We have a few demos. I can even send you the demo for that Edumation website. We have all the code for that, so you can actually deploy that entirely on your laptop. Sorry about that. Cool. Second type of embedding, what we call static embedding or simple embedding. What is this about? So in static embedding, this is actually just embedding a dashboard or a question, but the user won't be able to do anything more than just changing a filter on that dashboard. Nothing more. It's a very simple embedding in which you can tell Metabase, hey, I want this question to be rendered, or hey, I want this dashboard to be rendered. There is no authentication whatsoever. There's no, you cannot do any drill downs and drill throughs. The only things that the user will be able to do is changing a filter of that dashboard. There's something pretty cool about static embedding, which is you can define when you're gonna embed a question or a dashboard. You can define if the filters on that question or on that dashboard will be locked or editable, which means that you can embed a dashboard, and you can say, I want these filters to be editable, so people can go and change those filters in that embedding, or you want to define them as locked, which means that when the user gets to that dashboard or gets to that question, there are going to be filters that are going to be fixed, and also, if you want to, hidden as well. Again, you can define locked filters and hidden filters, so people cannot touch that. You'll say, hey, Luis, but this is actually similar to row level security, because I will be able to inject parameters. Well, yes and no. On one end, you define filtering, and people cannot actually get out of that filtering. The people will be fixed on that filter, and they won't be able to touch it, and they will be just seeing the dashboard or the question with the filter applied. But on the other end, the users just they cannot do anything. They cannot create questions, they cannot create dashboards, they cannot do any kind of drill down and drill throughs, or maybe do SQL questions. They can't do SQL questions because actually they're gonna be able to do so. This is one of the, I would say, most used embedding approaches that people use if they have Metabase. In fact, this was one of the embedding approach that I took when I was in that startup of IoT before Mula. The reason is because this one is included in the free version. So if you have the free version of Metabase, you can start using static embedding. It's free forever, and it's unlimited. So actually you can embed as many things as you want with these techniques. you can actually use also custom destinations, but the custom destinations cannot be inside Metabase. So you can say, if I click here, this one takes me maybe to a Salesforce application. Yeah, you can do that, but you cannot make the user to click on a dashboard or click on a question and that take you to Metabase itself, because it's not going to work. Okay. This it's really simple, really fast. And there's also another demo for that. And let me just go to static embedding. This is similar to static embedding, and let me be pretty clear about this. This is similar to static embedding, but it's not actually static embedding. This is what we call public links, but doesn't matter. It works in the same way. So don't get me wrong, it works in the same way. But it's an example of what you can do. So just imagine that this is our application. We have Appytown, which is a builder of apps, and we want to show our customers how we're doing, right? How they are doing. So it's the same thing. You will I'm gonna explain the flow just in a couple of minutes, but it's about you go to Metabase and you ask to Metabase for a specific dashboard or a specific question, and you ask that resource with a key. So you go to Metabase and say, hey, I have this key and I want this dashboard, and Metabase will just render that dashboard. It's a pre-signed URL, as we call it. And in here, there's people that can just change the filters over here, change stuff. But if you hear my mouse just clicking and nothing is happening here, the only thing that I can change is when I click the filters, if you see that the functionality of click filter works, but I cannot do anything. There's no drill down, drill through, nothing more. Yeah, I'm stuck in this dashboard, or in the case if I was embedding a question, it will be a question. Just that. Everything that I can do is this. And this is static embedding. Again, it's probably the most used embedding from all the instances that we know that are using Metabase. The amount of instances using Metabase around the world that we know of, it's around 65,000. It's the one that we know of. There are probably many tens of thousands more, the people that don't connect their Metabase to the internet, so we don't know about that. But this one is probably the most used embedding, because again, it's free, it's unlimited, and you can actually use it right now if you're using Metabase. Going back, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Going back. Again, I'm gonna open the questions topic just in just a couple of seconds. But how does this work? Well, as I was saying, you go to Metabase. You sign the token. You say, hey, I want this resource. I want this dashboard, and I just want it with these parameters. Okay, just customer ID, blah, application, blah, a store, blah, and Metabase. If you go to Metabase with this signed URL, Metabase will just give you we'll be able to give you the dashboard or the question. Let me go just back to the Appytown to show you exactly that. If I open the developer tools for this and I just do a refresh over here, you will see that. And again, this is the very famous. Let me try to do some zoom. I'm not able to do zoom over here. Nope. Sorry. If you go to here, you will see that when I go to this Metabase, you'll see that I am doing Metabase is trying to authenticate me, but I don't have any authentication. But you will see that over here, you'll see that there's there we go. I am calling this instance, and I am calling this dashboard, and I am just passing just some dashboard ID that I got from Metabase. In this case, it's against a public one. It's not signed, but you will see that if this was a signed static embedding, you will see a token over here. You'll see a token, and that token is actually the key that Metabase will use for giving you that dashboard, giving you that question. Let's go a little bit back, and let's see if you have some questions about static embedding. last one, and this is public embedding. This is exactly what I was showing in the Appytown demo. Public embedding is, let's say that you don't want to go over the, I don't have, for example, I don't have a backend. I don't have a backend like I have a WordPress, blog or website, and I really don't want to go over the, all the things that I need to do to make Metabase work on my WordPress, because I don't know how PHP works. I don't want to do a custom plugin, like nothing. I just want to get a dashboard or get a question, just put it on my website publicly, right? How do I do that? Okay, this is what public embedding is for. This is what the call team is doing. It's just they just opened their dashboards and their questions. This is what UNESCO is doing. In fact, we had a really cool one, for the Euro Cup in Germany this year. We built it, entire data sets, and then we pushed this dashboard to the public, so you could see how everything was going. And it is about that. It's just the thing you just saw in the Appytown demo. It's I get a link and that's it. I can show that pretty quickly in my computer. But it's just that it's a link. And I was mentioning one very interesting. Let me go back again. One very interesting demo about embedding is, let me go to UNESCO journalists killed. This is really interesting demo. UNESCO, the UN agency, uses Metabase and uses public links for showing journalists that have been killed all over the world. And I love this because it's a very very cool demo, really cool use case about Metabase. They have Metabase running on our cloud, if I'm not mistaken. They're connected to their database, and actually they they just build this dashboard. It's a public link. And one really cool thing about public dashboards is that they also support downloading, so you can actually give your users the power of downloading this to their computers. So we've been through interactive embedding, we've been through static embedding, and we've also been through public links, public dashboards and public questions. There's one new thing that it's coming up because we've had tons of people that, oh, this is super slow. That's sad. I wish you could see this live. This is sad. Okay, so there's one more thing that we are going to be launching very soon, and it's in fact in beta, which is this iframe that you'll see here. Again, it has the colors, it has some fonts. But in the end, in the same way you see the call thing, you know that's Metabase. It's pretty easily recognizable. Although you can do a lot of things, to mask them. You can change a lot of things via white labeling, but it's in the end Metabase and it's an iframe. How you can make this more native inside your application? How you can actually show in your application data analytics actually natively with your own CSS and everything. But again, some people, some users that we have right now, they actually build Metabase entirely on their end just to customize the CSS. How you can make this? Well, we have we are launching, and in fact, if you're a pro enterprise customer and you're watching this webinar, please contact us, because this is like a closed beta that we have right now, which is the SDK of embedding. Metabase just launched a new SDK that you can download. It's right now it's for React. So if your application is React based, you will be able to use it. You will be able to just grab components from Metabase, and those components will be rendered natively on your application. Let me just find the demo about this, because I have the demo And here it is. I just have the demo. It gives you all the bells and whistles of Metabase. Question creation, drill down, drill through, everything via native components, and you can style them as you wish. So, sorry. How does this work? Well, same way as you would do with any any components of React. You would import React, you import the Metabase provider, and then you can just change the colors and do stuff. Also, the Pro Enterprise version is needed for this. And let me just show you a demo how this looks or what you can achieve with this, because it's like the most powerful embedding approach that we currently have. Again, this is another demo that I can share with you the link in the chat. It's taking some time. Come on, Versal, just please do it. We are in a live demo. Please, please, please. Is this loading at all? Let's see. Yeah, for some reason I'm not able to log in. What happened? What happened? Oh, this is weird. I can't log in for some reason. All right, well, that's sad. It happens in every demo. Happens that something is wrong and something doesn't work. But just again, go to this little demo when you can. And the team is changing this as we speak, so probably that's also the reason. But honestly, this is the most advanced embedding approach that we have right now. You can style every single component. Let's see if I have here. There's always some page. Like if you see this website over here, this is actually an application, and these little components are Metabase charts, which you can change the fonts, you can change the colors, you can change absolutely everything. Like this is like the numeric chart that you have in a dashboard, right? You can actually embed this right here, and you can also do drill downs and drill throughs from within your application, completely native, no iframe at all. So this is a new thing that we have. I hope that you like it. Again, I'm gonna open the space for any questions or any doubts you may have. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat, and happy to answer them all.